Alderman Antonio French and President of the Board of Aldermen Lewis Reed recently introduced legislation that will make new information readily available to residents at all times on the city's website. There's also Nextdoor for neighborhoods, and here to talk about it are President of the Board of Aldermen Lewis Reed and his Legislative Director, Michael Powers. Welcome. Thank you for coming to the studio today.
Thanks for having us, Sarah.
So we're talking about this new social network that's really going to change the way city residents can communicate. Tell me about it.
I'm really excited about this new application, Nextdoor. Other major cities all across America are starting to pick up on this application and roll it out across neighborhoods. What Nextdoor is, it's kind of, if you want to imagine the next evolution in social networking. You have Facebook, you have Twitter, and when you talk on Facebook and Twitter, you're broadcasting to the world everything, right? On Nextdoor, it allows you to communicate with your neighbors within your neighborhood in more of a controlled setting. It allows you to exchange information with your neighbors, everything from borrowing a ladder to, who's the best contractor, crime reports, notices from City Hall, we'll be sending them out. So my office, we began working a few months ago to roll out Nextdoor all across the city. We're in 79 neighborhoods, over 6,000 people connected now, and we're continuing to roll it out, and Michael's going to go over some of the other information.
Yes, so thank you for explaining that, because, so Michael, this is in other cities, but which came first? You heard about Nextdoor or vice versa? When they were trying to roll it out themselves across the nation, they reached out to the city and you thought this is going to be the perfect way for residents to really communicate with each other.
Yeah, so we reached out to Nextdoor in April and we said, we think this could be an awesome platform in the city of St. Louis, and we want you to help us figure out how we get people enrolled. And at that time, I think we had, 600 or 700 people maybe using it, piling it in neighborhoods. And so we went out and we talked to folks, who've been using it for some time and found some of the benefits of it. We thought it could be adopted here and used here very broadly. And I think the reception has been overwhelming. It's been being picked up in places and with people old and young across the city, north and south, and we're very excited. We've got 6,400 residents signed on right now, growing at one of the fastest rates in the country, actually, in terms of number of people connected. So let's walk through. Sometimes when you talk about social media, it's easier to actually be in the process of going onto the website and seeing it versus explaining it. But the idea is, I'm a resident, I go onto nextdoor.com/St. Louis. You mentioned, crime updates. Who can I borrow a ladder? But how does it actually work? I mean, how does it?
First thing, let's let Michael walk you through the process of signing up, and then we'll move forward.
Okay.
Yeah, so what we want you to do is go on, look at the website, watch a video. It's a very short video to find out how the program works. It's www.nextdoor.com. Mm-hmm. You enter in your address, and Nextdoor actually sends you a postcard out to your address to verify that you actually live where you say you live. So one of the reasons we like this platform is because of its security and because of the components of privacy that it has built in. So a neighborhood knows that information they share is being shared with people who live around them. Mm-hmm. So a little bit different than Facebook, which is a lot of people across the country and the world who who are your friends. What Nextdoor is, it's a bunch of strangers, but they all live within a few hundred feet of you. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, the best way is to go to nextdoor.com and watch a short video and find all the features that it offers and set up an account. And also just feel free to reach out to our office too, because we're here to assist people, community groups. We're doing presentations across the city.
Great.
And we've got a field organizer working on it.
Well, what I love about this is I was saying before we started this, I wish a couple years ago this was in existence, because in my neighborhood back in the Central West End, things would happen, and after they happened, you had no way to know, like if somebody's car was broken into or something. Exactly. You had no way to follow up. And I remember at times literally calling the police department to say, hey, was that resident, are they okay? Yes. Or did something happen? I mean, literally that, or you'd have to watch the news. And this kind of addresses probably what you hear from residents all the time, that there's that gap of not being able to communicate and understand what's going on.
Absolutely. And the other thing that this does, we live in such a fast-paced world today. A lot of times people don't even know who lives next door to them. They don't know who lives a block away from them. And we know that when people begin to communicate and when neighbors begin to talk and to collaborate, great things happen. Mm-hmm. And stronger neighborhoods leads to a stronger city. A lot of things that you just listed sharing information as it relates to public safety when it just becomes the norm, right? All of those things will allow you to arm yourself better. It will allow you to, communicate better with your spouse and your kids about, okay, you know what, so, XYZ happened a block over, so make sure to take these measures. Just that kind of thing, along with just the typical stuff, if you need a babysitter, finding them, whatever. I mean, there's so many things. So.
We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're actually going to talk about how it's more than it's not just crime and it's not just public safety, but how there's so much more that you can sort of access and communicate about with neighbors with the website. So stay tuned. We'll have more with President Reed and Mr. Powers coming up next in our continued segment.